Hey everybody, welcome into the Thinking Crypto podcast, your home for cryptocurrency news and interviews. I'm your host, Tony Edward. On your way in, please hit that subscribe button as well as a thumbs up button and leave a comment below. If you're listening on a podcast platform such as Spotify or Apple, please leave a 5-star rating and review. Folks, I am back home in the United States. Of course, the past 3 to 4 days I was in Prague in the Czech Republic for a Trezor's event where they launched the new Trezor Safe 7. So good to be back. Good to be back in my home studio with a proper camera and mic. So apologies about the quality over the past few days, but that's how it is when you're recording from a hotel room. But folks, we got lots of big news to cover. I would like to start with the price of Bitcoin because we're still chopping Bitcoin at the time of recording at $110,000. We still got to give this some time, folks. We continue to see the chop and the volatility. So, I think the market is still recovering from that October 13th dump and manipulation, what we saw with Trump announcing, the tariffs again, and then a whale took a massive short out. So we really got to let the dust settle here. One of the things I've been sharing that it's a good sign is that on the daily chart, the bears are losing momentum too. So it looks like this is going to flip green soon, and we'll see where it takes us, right? I do believe we're still in a bull market based on different macro factors. I've been stating them a lot, and of course, I've been putting them in my newsletter, so be sure you check that out. The RSI in the daily chart also moving away from the oversold zone. When you look at the higher time frame of the weekly, though, the weekly shows the bears are still in control here. So again, got to give it more time. From the monthly standpoint, it's same as what we've been covering over the past month. Despite the huge volatility, the monthly chart shows the bulls are still in control here. So this is certainly a big factor as to why I think the bull market is not over. I want to highlight something here from Crypto Currently, who gave 3 scenarios. And often on this podcast, I give scenarios, right? I know a lot of people want certainties. They want you to tell them definitively that this is going up or definitively this is going down, but no one has a crystal ball. But as investors, we're looking at different data points and the facts and not getting emotional and looking at the different scenarios and which has the higher probability of playing out. That's how you got to view it, probability, right? Because there is a bearish scenario, there is a bullish scenario. So he highlighted on a chart here, specifically for Bitcoin, that a final push is possible that will take us near 150, and then a full reset, which is likely, which would take us to over 150, and then it's over. But he's saying that's the unlikely scenario. So he says here, it's time to update this Bitcoin chart. There's many out there that are convinced the cycle is over and have sold everything. There's also many out there that are convinced it's not over and are fully allocated. I don't believe the cycle is over, but I am also prepared for the unlikely scenario that it is. So again, you look at the different scenarios, right, based on different factors, and you look at it from a probability standpoint. So I personally been saying, based on the data, I believe the higher probability is that we are still in the bull market, and I presented that data to you guys. One such is, of course, gold being a leading indicator, and it has been correcting. So we can expect rotation from gold into the stock market and then into crypto, of course. Gold on the daily chart, we are seeing the RSI heading towards the oversold zone. It's not there yet, and the bears are in control. So the MACD shows that it flipped from bulls to bears. So this, once again, another leading indicator. And if you look at the S&P 500 and even the NASDAQ, they're all still showing signs of strength here, and it's all following global liquidity, right? Global liquidity is certainly one of the big factors that we've been tracking, and it still shows we have more to go here. Now, it's not the only factor, right? You can't just look at one, two, or three. You got to look at multiple, and I often share about 8 to 10 with you guys. And it can't be just charts. It has to be on-chain data. It has to be macro factors, because what the Fed is doing and liquidity and all these things affect markets, right? So we want to look at different factors. All right, moving ahead, folks, we have huge news. This is incredible. Rowe Price files to launch an active crypto ETF in a strategic pivot. The $1.8 trillion mutual fund giant is seeking SEC approval for its first crypto ETF, making a bold move into digital assets. They're all bending the knee, folks. We've been seeing Charles Schwab, E-Trade, Morgan Stanley, Vanguard, right? Even the naysayers are bending the knee. And it's amazing to see all these Wall Street TradFi firms getting involved. And it's what we've been saying for years. I've been talking about this since 2018, 2019. Now these things are coming to fruition, and this is going to bring in more capital into the asset class. So there's still money to be made here, folks. You got to be patient, though, right? These things are now getting set up, and more capital will flow in. Let me give you some details here. So Rowe Price has filed an S1 form with the SEC to launch the Rowe Price Active Crypto ETF. The firm, which manages over $1.8 trillion in assets, is traditionally known for its mutual funds. An analyst saying the filing could signal a coming land rush for active crypto ETFs. Here's what Eric Balchunas, senior ETF analyst at Bloomberg, said. Semi-shock, T. Rowe Price just filed for an active crypto ETF. They are a top 5 active manager by assets, mostly mutual funds. Did not expect it, but I get it. There's going to be a land rush for this space too. Nate Geraci said, can't overstate the significance of T. Rowe Price filing for an actively managed crypto ETF out of left field. T. Rowe is the quintessential legacy asset manager founded in 1937. They manage some $1.8 trillion in assets, but just got involved with ETFs in 2020, now moving to crypto. Folks, I mean, I don't think I need to say anything further, right? All of Wall Street's bending the knee here, and I hope you recognize what's happening and why you have to be patient and why you have to have the macro view on this asset class. A lot of people get caught up in the daily and they're impatient and they get emotional about the volatility, but this is all par for the course with investing, right? We can't control some of these things that are happening out there, like Trump announcing tariffs and whale manipulating the market with the short, with some insider information and so forth. But those things eventually get priced in accordingly, and then we come out of the hole and we move on. I've been here since 2016, so I've seen a lot of it. So it doesn't even phase me anymore. Don't get me wrong. I don't like when my portfolio is down, of course, but I've been telling you guys I've been buying in the bear market, so my portfolio is up despite these pullbacks. I could exit the market today and be in really good profit. Obviously, I believe there's further upside, so I have not liquidated any of my assets, and I'm not in a rush to get the money right now. Obviously, I have plans, but if you understand what I'm saying, I'm not desperate. I based on the data, my research here, and everything that's going on, I believe we still got more upside. Now, folks, a great place you can invest in crypto and precious metals like gold and silver is on iTrust Capital, and it will allow you to get amazing tax exemptions. So iTrust Capital allows you to invest via an IRA, and you can trade 24/7 from that IRA. There's low cost, no monthly fee, and you can roll over your existing 401k or IRA to iTrust's self-directed IRA, and you can trade all the top crypto assets, Bitcoin, XRP, Solana, and much more. In fact, they have over 80 crypto assets, and they also have a premium custody account, which I believe is the second safest option to self-custodying. So I believe in self-custodying, but this is a great option because they use top tier crypto custodial services like Coinbase Prime, which BlackRock uses, Fidelity, Fireblocks, and much more. So you can rest assured your assets are safe. And like I said, you can invest in both crypto and precious metals. So this gives you an amazing option. And again, tons of tax benefits, especially if you have a long-term view on the crypto asset class and gold and silver and so forth. You can use iTrust Capital. So I have an account with them. So if you use my link, which will be in the description, you can get a $100 funding bonus. So check out iTrust Capital, guys. This is a great option for investing in crypto assets and precious metals. So check out the link in the description. Now, folks, some of you may have heard this news, but President Trump has pardoned former Binance CEO CZ. He's also the founder, of course. Trump said he wasn't guilty and was persecuted by the Biden administration. Now, there's a lot of controversy here because, I'm not going to get into all the political details, but I'll give my perspective. I've been around, like I said, since 2016. I interviewed CZ a couple times back in 2018, 2019-ish. And back in the day, it was the Wild West. A lot of crypto companies weren't doing like KYC AML. So Binance getting fined by the regulators makes sense, right? Like, hey, you guys didn't set up the proper things. Okay. But CZ never stole people's money. He never laundered money. It's not like we're talking Sam Bankman-Fried here or Alex Mashinsky at Celsius. So CZ never did those things. And I think the Biden administration, threw him into jail for 30 days. He shouldn't have gone to jail. But should Binance have gotten fined? Yes, right. But we know it was a big political show with Elizabeth Warren and much more. So I think this pardon is warranted because again, CZ did not steal people's money and he did not launder money. Now, again, they didn't set up KYC, AML, and the Bank Secrecy Act and all that stuff. Yes. And they got a huge, severe penalty, right? So that's done with. So Elizabeth Warren and certain folks are trying to politicize this. And it's a bit hypocritical of Elizabeth Warren, right? But I'm not going to go into all the political details, but I'm just giving you my 2 cents and my perspective, having been in the industry. Now, if Trump were to pardon Sam Bankman-Fried, I would be very upset about that. Or even Alex Mashinsky, because those guys actually committed crimes, stealing people's money and lying to people and much more, right? I think we all know what happened there. So FYI on this, and we'll see if the Democrats use this. I hope they don't, and they realize that, look, CZ got fined and he went to jail for 30 days. Okay, right? Like, what the hell are we talking about here? So hopefully Elizabeth Warren doesn't go nuts, but she's already tweeting about it. So FYI there. Now, something interesting is coming out from the American Bankers Association. They're starting to say the quiet part out loud. So recently we heard that the bankers were trying to change the Genius Act because they didn't like that you could earn higher yield on exchanges like Uphold or Coinbase and others on stablecoins, right? Because they give you bullshit. The banks give you bullshit interest. We all know that. They pocket a lot of the money and the interest and so forth, and they don't give you anything. And all of a sudden they're like, oh, we're not trying to change anything. This is about the community banks and we're trying to protect them so they can better serve you. Like, get the hell out of here. You think we forgot 2008, how they got bailed out with our tax dollars and they continue to give us BS interest and yield, right? And now we have an option and the banks are trying to stop that. They're trying to stop the competition. Let me play a clip for you.
So I think we're making great headway, actually, in demonstrating why this is an important issue. And this is not about relitigating something that's settled. This is about ensuring banks continue to be in a position to support their communities and power the economy. And a detriment to that would be allowing the likes of Coinbase or Kraken to pay interest on payment stablecoins. I mean, that just flies in the face, one, of the notion around a payment stablecoin, that it should be a means of payment and not a store of value. But two, this prohibition that Congress clearly set, that we already talked about not paying interest on these things. And so there's, I don't know, how do you feel, Jess? I mean, there's lots of good momentum here.
No, I totally agree. I feel like this is not an easy fight. It's a very well-resourced,
yes,
group on the other side, let's put it that way. But we have broken through. Again, we're not speaking just about, this isn't about what's good for banks. This is about what's good for communities. Banks take deposits and convert them into loans. That's what we do. And fewer deposits means fewer loans. And most members of Congress understand that that's not a good thing. They certainly don't want to have to pick between friends, let's call it, but at the same time, they don't want to do damage to the communities they serve.
Can you believe that, folks? How dare you go earn higher yield outside of these banks? You must stay at your bank so they can keep pocketing the majority of the funds and not give any to you or to give you the breadcrumbs, right? So these banks can go F themselves, if you know what I mean, right? And remember, these are the guys who lobbied Elizabeth Warren and Gary Gensler to come after crypto over the past 4 years. So that's why you saw Elizabeth Warren team up with Jamie Dimon, holding hearings to attack crypto and much more. We know, right? So that's the game. But look, disruptions at their doorstep, and we see a lot of them are now looking to launch their own stable coins and custody and trading and much more. But they've lost. They have lost, and they're still trying to scramble, right? But now they're starting to say the quiet part out loud, like, "Oh no, don't disrupt us. We need to stay in power. Get the hell out of here." Now, speaking of banking, some good news here for Custodia Bank, which is Caitlin Long. So they said here, tokenized deposits launch. Vantage Bank and Custodia Bank announced launch of tokenized deposits for U.S. banks, turnkey accretive solution that integrates tokenized deposits and stablecoins directly into a traditional online banking environment. Caitlin says, this has been in the works for more than 5 years. We were the first to issue tokenized deposits on a permissionless blockchain in the US with our bank partner Vantage Bank in March, and now the consortium is officially launched. So this is really great. You have these companies and crypto-friendly banks that are able to do these things, and I'm excited to see what comes out of this. One of the things that Uphold's founder, Greg Kidd, if you guys recall my interview with him, he's trying to do the same thing with Vast Bank. So I think we're going to see a lot of tokenized deposits in addition to stable coins and much more, but this is the future. And recently we heard the Fed, I think it was just this week, that they want to give the master account light version now to different companies. That includes stablecoin issuers as well as crypto companies. So again, the banks have lost, right? The big banks I'm talking about now, the ones that controlled the majority of the payments and finances, like your JP Morgan and others. So pretty amazing the progress that's being made here. Now, we had some news around Algorand. Some people are saying, hey, you haven't covered Algorand. And look, if I see major news, I will cover it. If I don't see major news, then I don't cover it. So Algorand Foundation says our partnership with the World Chess, I guess is the organization, is renewed and stronger than ever. Together, we're driving innovation in loyalty and identity in sports, starting with the Tower, a fully on-chain chess loyalty program built on Algorand's Intermezzo. So this is interesting, and we're going to see rewards and gamification and loyalty points, all kinds of things on the blockchain, folks. So this is certainly the direction the world is heading in. So really, really great stuff here. And also, Stacy Warden, who is the CEO of the Algorand Foundation, she attended the Federal Reserve Innovative Payments Conference this week. And it's good to see Algorand in the mix here. And she took a photo here with the Fed Governor Christopher Waller and Anthony Scaramucci. So let's see what Algorand can do here, folks. I still hold some Algo tokens, not much, but I'm glad to see activity. I'll put it that way. I'm glad to see some activity here. And like I said, guys, if there's big news, I will cover it, but there has to be significant news. Folks, that's the news here. Let me know what you think. Leave your thoughts and comments below. Hit the thumbs up button. If you appreciate this content, please subscribe to my free email newsletter. It is 100% free. It's on Substack. Link will be in the description. Check out my book on Amazon. It's available in paperback and digital, and my course at mycryptocourse.com. This is a comprehensive course that teaches you everything about crypto. Folks, I appreciate you all, and I thank you for tuning in, and I'll talk to you all later.